Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Unbound. I'm Nicola Humber, author of Unbound and founder of the Unbound Press. And today I am delighted to be joined by Tara Jackson. Welcome, Tara.
Thank you.
So this month, throughout August, as part of the Magical Portal project, all of these episodes of Unbound, we are talking to different authors and focusing on the transformation that happens for us as authors, as writers, when we choose to write and release a book into the world. So we're kind of going behind the scenes of that process. And I wanted to speak to Tara. I mean, Tara's already written a piece for the Magical Portal project, which is amazing, but she's in a very special position. Her book, Embodied, a self-care guide for sensitive souls, literally just came out a few weeks ago in July. So it's very kind of fresh out in the world. And because I'm a complete nerd with these things, I'm really curious. I mean, I know that Tara had a fascinating, she might not use that word, process during her, as she was writing Embodied. She was part of the Unbound Writing Mastermind, so I got to see firsthand, Tara, I got to see what your process was like and like the healing and transformation that you went through then. And like Tara's an Unbound Press author as well, so I've been with you throughout the release process, but I think people are going to be really interested to know what it's like when you've actually released a book and those first few weeks when it's making its way out into the world. Anyway, with that introduction, which is a bit long and rambling, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it.
No, it's my absolute pleasure, Nicola. Thank you. And you're like the book's godmother because you've been there. It's such an integral part of it. I think it feels like that. Definitely. Yes, you did.
Fairy godmother for.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And actually, I was just thinking, just randomly, that it's actually a year ago, almost this week, that I signed up for the Unbound Writing Mastermind, thinking, I've got to do this. I've got to get my book out there. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's like less than a year technically. And I did it. It's like, whoa. I was just like, literally hit me yesterday. So I had to say that. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, I know. I've just been thinking it's a year since I was just opening up the first round of the Unbound Writing Mastermind, and kind of how transformational that's been for me as well. Like whenever we create something new and it's always a risk to commit to creating something and sharing it with the world. It activates transformation. So yeah, well, thank you for bringing that up.
No,
how gorgeous and how amazing of you to have got it written and for it to be out there in the world within a year. That's a relatively short amount of time.
Wow. It does seem a bit surreal, but quite amazing, and feels like a long time at the same time.
Yeah. So tell us, Tara, what made you first decide to write Embodied or to write a book?
I've wanted to write a book since I was a kid. I mean, I was writing books as a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, little stories and stuff. And this book had been calling me probably for about the last 4 years maybe, since I sort of started my self-care healing journey, and just writing down things and getting, intuitive guidance. And just as I, kind of sharing my journey in my own journal and then slowly on my blog. And it was just calling, like, you've got to do this. And I was like, what? I don't know how this is going to piece together. It's just I don't know. I was so confused, but it just knew it had to be out there in some way or form. Yeah. So.
And what, when it came to actually making that commitment, like you said, it had been there for a long time. It had been calling to you. So what was it like for you to go, actually, right, okay, I'm going to commit, and you've got support with it. You decided to join the mastermind.
It's like,
delighted. Yeah.
So yeah, it's like one of those things which I had on my, my list for the year of things that I wanted to do that year. I've had it on my list for like even monthly kind of goals or things that I wanted for about 2-3 years. It's like, okay, you're not doing this. You're not, maybe you just have to pay to sort of actually get that space so that you commit and do it. And actually that's what I needed, because I just needed to say I was doing it and actually do it, basically commit to something.
Yeah, exactly. It's so powerful, isn't it? I think we underestimate how powerful that is.
Yeah.
because like you, before I wrote my first book, it was on my kind of like not to-do list, but my goal list, my dream list.
Exactly.
For years. And I never really made that strong commitment to doing it. So yeah, well done you for actually getting that.
It had to be written. It was screaming at me. It was like, you know, you've got to do this. And like, it would just get stronger and stronger. And I'd see other authors and, you know, publishing books or saying they've written books, you know, on social media. And I was like, you know, when you feel that kind of comparisonitis, sometimes it's sort of a sign that that's what you need to be doing too as well sometimes. And it's like, it was just getting louder and louder and louder. So I couldn't ignore it anymore, basically.
Like, okay, I get the message. I'm going to do it. And what was it like when you started the writing process? Once you've made that commitment and, you know, you'd stepped into the Unbound Writing Mastermind, what was it like when you began writing?
Yeah, not what I expected. No? Not at all. Definitely
In what
not.
way?
I think this is the beauty of what you shared and offer within the Unbound Writing Mastermind, is you showed me a different way. You made it okay to write in such a cyclical, flowing, beautiful, honoring my seasons way. You know, and it was like, so some days I'd be walking in the forest near me and just recording, and then I transcribed that. Other days it would be meditating and journaling. Sometimes it was even just looking back through old journals and editing and updating stuff, or blogs and things. It was such a messy but beautiful kind of chaotic way of doing it, and just pulling bits as they came up, you know, because it wasn't like, yes, start here, here's the middle, beginning and end, or beginning, middle and end. It was really not like that. It was just such a free kind of open way to write without that kind of fixed expectation, which was so just so nourishing and beautiful, honestly.
But I think, you know, that can be challenging. Like probably this approach
probably
is not for everyone. It would totally freak some people out. And it, you know, I know when I was writing Unbound, actually, it was exactly the same. You know, I had to write it in that way. And that's why I know I can hold space for others to do it, because I've been through it myself. But I know it can feel really challenging at times, because we're like, is this ever going to come together?
It does. I promise you it does. It's magic. I was actually, because I didn't think I'd be open to that actually in the beginning. I was much more of a linear kind of thinker, or used to the old, you know, the systems and ways and processes of doing things. I've worked in that environment for a very long time. You know, and I think it was that letting go and just trusting, which was a huge part of feeling safe in the container of the mastermind as well. And that commitment, it was all kind of came together, and it did happen. But I do get how it can be a bit scary to do that and start and jump into that.
Well, like you said there, you know, most of us, we've worked in situations, you know, we've been brought up to operate in this very linear, structured way where we've always got to have a plan, we've got to know what's next. So to let go of that and say, actually, I'm just going to allow what wants to come, and when it wants to come, I'm going to allow it. And you know, I remember, I hope you don't mind me sharing this, during one of our Unbound writing sessions where we would come together like this on Zoom and everyone would go off and write. I think at one you were like, actually, I feel like I need to take a nap today during this. You know, that's the most, that, you know, but that's still part of your writing practice, like recognizing, actually, you know, I don't want to push through and write today. I'm going to take some time for myself. So well done you for really, you know, recognizing that and allowing yourself to follow whatever you needed and wanted to do at the time.
Thank you. And I think us also, because of doing that, it did start to then piece together, and I could start to see it forming into the structure it wanted to come into. But I couldn't have told you that at the beginning. You know, I really didn't know that. And that was another magical part of allowing and trusting in the process that you offered and, you know, and supported. Held space for.
It's like really allowing the book to create itself in a way.
This is where I love the magic. This is where it gets magical for me. That's totally with you on that.
Is that how it felt?
Completely. It's like, and this is, you know, we talked about this, Nicola. It's like the book became its own energy, its own being in some ways. And it kind of was telling me what to do. And that was just absolute magic. I literally get tingles just even thinking about this, and how the book, throughout the writing process and what it wanted to be, what, you know, and you encourage this as well, of course, just connecting to it and following it and letting it lead you. So that was just such a magical thing that I never could have imagined, and has opened up so much more in my own life. But I could go on about that for ages, so I'll stop, but I really will.
I kind of want you to go on about it, because I just love it, because, you know, it feels very magical to me. Like, I've experienced the same, but to witness other women experiencing it as well, it's like, oh, this is really a thing.
Yeah, right? This is really a thing. Oh my God. I know. Yeah,
magic does exist.
Yes. Oh, that makes me so happy.
I know. So you were writing about, you know, Embodied is about your own journey of self-care, self-love, and, you know, providing this amazing guide to other kind of empaths and sensitives. But, you know, in order to share your own journey, obviously you had to revisit times in your life that were painful and challenging. And this can be something, I know, that kind of that scares people when they're thinking about sharing their own story or aspects of their own story. It's like, oh, I have to kind of go back into it. So what was that process like for you, Tara?
Yeah, it was definitely a mix. I was a lot of resistance, and I know I talked about that a lot on our mastermind. I had a lot of resistance. My body just literally went into freeze mode and didn't want to go into many of the memories and things to have to kind of relive and to write them. I actually went through quite a few of my addictions again, just to get to almost access that point. I started binge eating a lot. I drank a lot at one point. I even went back, I tried weed for the first time in years, you know, just to kind of access that point. Like, it wasn't what I expected, but I was actually able to go deeper with that. It's like, it was really weird that I did, but I allowed myself to without judgment, because that was a big thing. And I mean, that's not how I wrote all of it, but that was definitely something that I kind of almost proactively did, but also naturally, intuitively wanted to do whilst writing it. It was like it brought up stuff that made me want to turn to addictions, as well as doing it to access them, the memories, if that makes sense. It was kind of a double approach there. But it was, yeah, I mean, some of it was also just, I mean, I had some amazing other healers and supporters and friends and things that have held space for me, and just also allowing myself to be in the messiness. And actually, when we go into it, it's never as bad as you think. I don't think. Actually, for me, it was just allowing my body to feel it, and sometimes even just mourn it or cry, release. I was angry, I had anger come up, lots and lots of tears. It was really, really cathartic and healing in many ways as well. But yeah, different ways to access it. But once I started, it got easier. It's sometimes just starting, you know, and doing it, accessing one point and then realizing, okay, that wasn't so bad. And I feel so much better and lighter and freer because I'd done that. And then going deeper in different parts. And it, you know, there were many layers of it as well. Yeah.
And, you know, I was smiling as you were talking about that, which may seem a bit odd, because you were talking about kind of going back into these, like, some of these addictive patterns and behaviors, and, you know, going back into these kind of painful, like, emotions. But I'm smiling because, like, you allowed yourself to trust your process, like your unique process, and you went with it. You didn't resist it. There may, like you said, you know, obviously there's resistance coming up at times, but, you know, you trusted yourself and your book, I guess, that it was gonna, like, take you through, like, all of these things that were coming up. You were going to be able to move through them. It's just so inspiring.
Thank you. At the time, I felt like a big, like, mess. Like, what on earth are you doing here, Tara? Really, you're supposed to be kind of past these things, or feeling that you're not in them anymore. It was a bit crazy, but it was so necessary and perfect. It was perfect. It really was. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and you speak there about that judgment that can come up in so many different ways through the writing process. You know, judging the way we're doing it, and, like, what we're actually writing, and whether anyone will actually want to read what we're writing.
Oh my gosh,
and what I know many times during the process, you were like, I don't know, that maybe this is just for me. And I know I've experienced that with my writing as well. So what helped you to know, actually, no, this is something that needs to be shared?
Yeah, the book was like, no, this is going to be shared. No, sorry. I was very close to not, actually. Even towards the end, I really thought this was just for me to heal. And I know that was a huge part of me having to write the book as well. But it kind of told me, no, you've got to get it out there. I was like, all right. Yeah.
I know. And I think we need to kind of remember, if we're feeling called to write a book, you know, it is, okay, maybe very occasionally we're feeling that calling because we need to go through the prep, but there's something about sharing it with the world, which is such an important part of the process as well. Otherwise we'd just be feeling a call to like journal or it's
definitely, I'm starting to feel that now, obviously, that part, the importance of the sharing, having moved into that phase now.
Well, tell us some more about that. How has it been, you know, from the release date and actually seeing embodied out there in the world? You know, I've seen it on Instagram, people sharing their pictures as it arrives for them. I haven't got my copy here because I'm back in the UK and it's over in the States. Yeah. Show us your copy.
Oh, my book.
Let me see your body. Say hello to your book. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, actually it does. I do think it's quite beautiful now, which was something I didn't expect to think. But also, just the first thing which actually you helped me with was connecting to the book as a kind of a published book was also a different energy from me writing the book. And that was something magical that I went through with you, which you held space for me. And learning, you know, realizing that it's got its own energy, and I kind of had to get to know it. And I've also then really followed kind of any intuitive guidance nudges I felt to share the book, and that's been really magical as well. But yeah, so in terms of how it's now it's out in the world, how that's changed as well, like what it's like sharing it. Is that what you sorry, I'm getting caught up in the book.
No, I love it.
The magic of the book.
Exactly.
I mean, I go through moments where I feel, you know, judgment and fear and intense vulnerability. I get through like those sick pangs in your belly sometimes, because there's things in there that are very vulnerable. And I do feel, you know, maybe family members particularly, or certain people who didn't know this stuff about me, maybe in my teens and 20s. And I'm like, oh my God. So there's definitely been moments of that, having it out there in the world, and also talking to people, and then they've read your entire story, know everything about you. It's like, okay, this happens. I was like, all right, of course, why did I do this? Okay, there's nothing. No, there's still other parts, but that's been interesting. But it's not been nearly as bad as I thought it would be. It's actually been quite healing. It's actually almost helped me to step up and share more, even on as well, and not care so much, not give a shit so much basically about what others think. That's been really liberating, and that's just starting to come now. This like really being more open, more vulnerable, sharing more, and stepping up. And that I can see that really kind of increasing now, you know, the next few months and etc. But it's been also very quite magical having that out there. It feels like I'm a bit like it's kind of its mother in some ways, and I just have to help it do what it needs to do, and that's kind of it really. And it's still definitely settling, but it's quite a magical, different part of the experience.
And I love what you're saying there about like the book being out there in the world, although it can feel like challenging and vulnerable at times, because, and I get that when you're speaking to people and it's like they've read your book. Like, did I put that in there?
Yeah, I know.
I was like that. Writing about that.
I thought that got edited out. Oops.
I know. I didn't mean to leave that bit in.
I know.
But it kind of gives you that foundation. It gives you that base level. Then it's like, you know, whatever you share from this point on, you can go deeper, because you know that's out there already, and it kind of provides this. It's not like a safety net, but it is this gorgeous foundation for you. It's like, well, I've done that, so I can take the next step. So, and also talking about how your relationship, you know, it's a new relationship with the book once it's published, excuse me, and released, which is really, really powerful to recognize. So has there been any kind of unexpected magic for you that your book has created throughout the writing process, or now that it's being released?
Oh gosh, there's just so many sort of small things which are probably, you know, which make the big things. I mean, the healing was just the hugest thing. And I actually feel like a different person. I really feel like it birthed me, you know. When it came out, I mean, there was quite a few other big things happening in my life then, but it was just such an end of a chapter of my life. And that's like, that stuff is completely out of me now. It's just there in a story to help, if it does, to anyone, but it's not part of me anymore. I'm now me. And that rebirthing has just been amazing. It's like, I feel like I can really truly be me now without all that kind of baggage and stuff I was kind of holding on to, I suppose, for many years. So that has been huge, more than, the biggest thing. And then sorry, go ahead.
No, go on, please. I want to hear what's next. Go on.
No, just the stepping up and being able to share more openly, more about me, and I suppose be seen, even because it's out there. That's so much. It's like, there's nothing else now. Like, just, here I am. This is me. Like, you can take it or leave it. And that's it, kind of thing. I'm just proud to be me now and just be seen, I suppose. And that's, it's growing that bit, but that's been a really magical thing because, as a business owner, we need to be seen, I suppose. And that has always been a big thing for me. And I don't get me wrong, it's not always easy, but it's definitely helped me to share more of me and be visible, which, I know, which I've been called to do more of in my business and have been resisting. So it's helping me to do that massively. It really is. Yeah. And I know there's so much more that will come, but those are two big things. Yeah,
absolutely. It feels like I can feel this sense of like liberation and freedom as you're speaking. And you mentioned your business there, and I wonder how kind of writing the book and releasing it has kind of made you feel differently about your business, or what you want to do in your business. Has it kind of activated any transformation there?
It's totally cemented wanting to work with highly sensitives and empaths. Before, I was a bit all over the place with who I wanted to work with and help and support, and it's totally cemented that. And so I think that's still kind of unfolding, but it's definitely, there's a few things starting to kind of form now, which I feel a lot more sort of grounded and strong compared to kind of, I was all over the place with my business before. So it's definitely emerging from that.
Did you know when you started writing the book that it was going to be specifically, I mean, there's so much in there that's valuable to everyone.
Exactly. Yeah.
Did you have that intention at the beginning that it would be for empaths?
I didn't. No, I didn't. I mean, I have some of my work already, and I have a group, Self-Care for Empaths, which is already focused on that. So it just kind of, it was natural, and I am incredibly sensitive and empathic. So it just was like, this feels really, and learning later about, people who are highly sensitive, addiction is a very common thing that can happen, learning about more and more in that. It was like, just felt like a natural progression for the book. It kind of came to me as well. It was very much this, it was kind of one day, it was like a little light bulb thing.
That's really helpful to hear as well, because I know a lot of people kind of can have resistance to being really specific about like who their book is for or who they want to work with, and it's like, oh no, I don't know if I kind of want to kind of make that declaration. But actually it feels incredibly potent when you do that. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, totally. I'm so glad I did. It just, really glad I did. It just feels much more, I don't know, embodied, I suppose. I don't know, it just feels really together. Yeah, I'm really glad that happened, definitely.
And actually, as your publisher and someone who's helping to share your work, it feels really potent for me when I'm sharing, because I can say, well, look, this is who it's for.
Yeah, exactly.
Than, self-care. So
exactly,
other people to share as well. I mean, obviously your book is called Embodied. So but what I'm interested in is how the process of writing a book kind of activates us or calls on us to embody our message at an even deeper level. And I wonder, you've kind of spoken about that throughout this conversation. But does it feel like it's done that for you?
Oh my goodness, yes. Even I was thinking about that this morning. I was like, just even writing the self-care practices, etc. There's always a journey, and I find with my own self-care, there's some days, some weeks, it's like all over the place. But since the book's come out, I am being called into taking even better care of myself. I'm noticing how much more sensitive I am to everything and having to take care of myself. Otherwise, I feel crappy, etc. And noticing on a weekly basis that the self-care that I put into me and my, my time, my boundaries, my nutrition, everything, it's just gone up crazily. And so completely embodying even more and more and more and more. Really, that surprised me as well. So thank you for bringing that up.
It's like your book holds you accountable.
Totally.
You've written this now.
It completely does.
I know. I find that I'm actually just thinking about it, I'm like, it really does.
Absolutely.
What's next for you, Tara? Do you have a sense of what's next? I mean, I know, and I found this through working with you, that you're so committed to like following your guidance, your intuition, and I love, you know, it's been such a joy to work with you because I love working like that as well. So, but I wonder if there's anything new that's calling to you right now.
At the moment, I'm just being told to take space and rest and replenish and just be in this and literally just following the intuitive guidance. And I know it's so weird to be in this place and not have any grand plans of stuff. What's next? I really don't. There's something bubbling, and that's about kind of my ancestry and my heritage, because I'm adopted from India, and maybe moving into more of that kind of stuff. But for more writing, I definitely know I want to write more books. But yeah, where they go and what form they take. Well, I'm just being open to the present and what comes next.
It will emerge. It will emerge. It will. We've talked about this, how when we write the first book, it definitely clears the way for what wants to come through next. And I love how you're just like allowing that space for, you know, to kind of integrate and process what you've experienced. Yeah. And, you know, whatever wants to come through next. And can I just say, for everyone watching this, Tara's story, if you haven't read her book, you really need to go and get a copy, because like throughout the mastermind, I don't think I read any of your writing, because you were like, yeah, I'm just kind of and then I read Tara's like draft manuscript for the first time. I had no idea that this was your story and like your background. It's just so, I was literally like laughing and in tears within the first 5 pages of reading it. It's just incredible. So thank you for, you know, courageously sharing it with the world and bringing and birthing Embodied into the world. So grateful to you for doing that.
Oh, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to have a fairy godmother for my book. It's been such an amazing space holder and everything. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. So Tara, for people who are watching this and would like to find out more about you and your work, what's the best way for them to do that?
Just my website, tarajackson.co.uk. Yeah, everything's on there, all links and stuff. Yeah.
We'll put a link to that below this video. So like I said, Tara, thank you so much for joining me today and having this conversation. Like I said, I really wanted to speak to you because the book is so kind of freshly birthed into the world. So it's a very special baby. It is. It's a very special time. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you so much, Nicola.
And we'll see you again soon for another episode of Unbound. Bye.